And welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Tuesday, September 24th. This is episode 80. I know what episode it is. I'm so proud of myself. Hi, I'm Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel. I'm your hostess. Also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat Squirrel, that's SQRRL, on Instagram. Hi, how are you? If you're a new viewer, welcome. Thank you for giving me a try. I know there's lots of podcasts out there. If you're a returning viewer, thank you even more. Because amongst those podcasts, you decided to watch mine. Kiss your face. Kiss it. Okay. Let's talk about... Okay. Administrative. I have one correct... Well, it's not really a correction, but one embellishment from last week's episode. So, the lovely Erin of Bling Your String donated his super, super duper cute product pouch. But I forgot to totally mention why. Well, not the why. But this is actually from her product pouch of the month club, which I got last year, or last time. And she asked me if I wanted this time too, but I was like, no. I'm such a glutton. I can't do it. So she said that, so instead she said, well, if you don't want it, then I'll send you one each month for the viewers. And I was like, oh, so generous. So this would have been the first month's entry into the Lion, Tigers, and Pigs Oh My Club. So she sent with this. This was like what the club shipment would have been. So it's got the little yarn sample. And I didn't realize this week this is not just a soap sample, but in fact a wool wash cube soap sample. So I'll let you know about that. Not that Erin scolded me or anything, but I just remembered because she wrote something and I was like, oh, God, I was supposed to say that. Sometimes I forget these things. Okay. I feel like there was something else administrative-y that I was supposed to tell you about. Do you remember? Do you have a burning question that I was supposed to answer this week? I can't remember what it was. Fudgy. I'm a little ghost. I can't remember. That's how the show goes if you're new. But I have shenanigans. Yay! So this weekend was the Wool Festival in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Did you go? Oh, I couldn't decide to go or not. Because I might be going to Rhinebeck. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I might be going to Rhinebeck, and so... And like all of our October is so booked up that I felt really just infinitely selfish taking another wool weekend. Is that terrible? But it's true. Plus I was like, oh, Rhinebeck. It's like I can't have too many good things in 1 month. Well, I mean, that's not particular, but like a 1 month time span. Like my head might explode. Or I might get struck by lightning or something. It could happen. So I decided that instead of going to the Wool Festival and dragging my family along, because my husband is also out of town now for like 2 weeks in a row, so to like bond and stuff. You know how that is. I think he might have secretly been happy if I'd taken my child and myself to the Wool Festival and left him alone. But, we won't talk about that. We bonded. We must do it. So, instead... I decided to drag everybody to the Pine Hills Nature Preserve, which is, actually I was dragging them to Shades State Park, which is it's in Waveland, Indiana, which is south of Crawfordsville, Indiana. It's like 7 miles west of Indiana. Annapolis. Indianapolis. Oh, my little gorgeous child, when she was a little tiny child, and she couldn't say Indianapolis yet, she said that we lived in the Indy applesauce. We lived in the applesauce. We kind of do right now. I still have a lot of apples to prepare. Oh, anyway, parenthetical. Shade State Park. So I wanted to check this park out because it's right next to Turkey Run State Park, which is like an awesome park, but has literally perhaps the smallest... I'm sorry, I'm going to fidget with my shirt a lot. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. Which has like the tiniest camping ground ever, and it's always full because it's like a hugely popular park because it's like got a really lot of cool features. And also there's tubing. I want to go tubing so bad. I had a brief discussion with Malia of Rhymes with Maria of the Yarn Raising podcast. Love her face. She's brilliant. Oh my gosh, she's an SSK. Congratulations, Rhymes with Maria. I know so many fancy people. Anyway, we briefly had a discussion. Actually, I had a discussion. I think I made her agree. That if we ever get together and have a super awesome Indiana retreat of podcastery goodness, that we had to include tubing as an activity. And then we have to hire a professional photographer because that needs to happen. There need to be a bunch of us ladies on inner tubes floating down a river knitting with lots of photographs. Right? I think I should be able to get a government grant for that, quite frankly. Because it's just awesome. To show it should happen, right? Wouldn't that be cute? Anyway, okay, sorry. So we want to go there, but there, again, it's always packed and it's like tight. So Shades is right next door. Like you can like actually hike between them. It's a long hike, but you can hike between them. And they have a campground that's always got spaces. Well, we kind of figured out why. Not really. It's a very nice campground if you did not have like highly energetic small children, I think. Because the campground itself was actually nice. It was very fine. It's a campground, you know. I mean, it can be bad, but it wasn't. But the issue is that their park, the Shades Park, doesn't have a lot of features for... There's lots of hiking, but that's it. And there's no camp store, which kind of presents difficulties. You're like, really? But it does, because you can get ice and water and wood all the time. Ice and wood all the time. And there's no swimming pool, which the children... I think that's 90% of the reason why they go camping. I know, obviously when we go camping in October, they're not going to swim at the swimming pool, but you know what I mean. It's important. So anyway, we checked that out. But that was just like an excuse to get us to go there to go hiking at the Pine Hills Nature Preserve, which is actually the oldest nature preserve in Indiana. So clearly I wanted to go there. And it was formed, and I think it was established in 1961, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it's adjacent to Shades State Park, and you can actually, the only way to access it is through the state park. Because there's like a leader trail that goes into the preserve. You like cross over the highway, which is so exciting. Why is that exciting to me? But it is. It's like a state road. It's not like it's a highway. It's 2 lanes. We didn't have to wait to cross or anything, but it was still exciting. You're like on a nature trail. It's out in the woods, and then you go, oh, gotta cross the highway. It felt very Appalachian Trail-y to me, right? Anyway. But I wanted to go because there's all these crazy random geological features for Indiana. So if you've never been to Indiana, it has super hot topography in that it is completely flat. That's not completely true, because in the southern part of Indiana, there are nice rolling hills. But in Indianapolis, flat. So we're driving and it's completely flat on the way there. Right before we get there, it gets a little bit undulating. It's undulating. Sorry, internal monologue went crazy for a second. So we get there, and you're hiking along. You're like, it's flat. It's nice. There's lots of trees. It's like tulip poplars is a big one, and like oak and maple. It's just hiking through. It's nice. Pretty nice. We get across over the highway. To get into the nature preserve, there's like it's got a metal fence around it, like an old, not even chain link, but kind of like chain link fence. But there's like a wooden stairway to walk up and over this chain link fence. I don't know who they're keeping out or who they're keeping in, but whatever. So again, it's very like, you know, there's a slight downward grade as you're going, but nothing you would notice until you're walking back and you're exhausted and you're like, when is this going to stop going uphill? Very gradually. Anyway. So you get there, and then all of a sudden, there's a million steps down. 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 And when I say a million, I mean like 200 to 400. I don't know how many. At least 200, probably not 400. It's a lot of steps. But so you're going down these steps into this like giant ravine, and you're like, what? I mean, I knew it was going to happen. But, you know, when you go there, you try to put yourself in the mind frame. You know, oh, what's this? You know. And I didn't really tell the family what was going on. So we're like going down all these stairs, and the dog is, you know, having a grand old, because we brought Annie, of course. The dog's having a grand old time. We're just having a hoot and Annie. And there's like all these, like, it's just a sheer drop off on either side. It's very cool. It's all beautiful, and the temperature's gorgeous. Gorgeous. We're going down all these stairs, and I'm really like, oh. This is a lot of stairs to go back up. Because, of course, the information, because it's a nature preserve, their funding must be like $0. Like, they probably have one guy who comes and, like, clears the path, and that's it. Because their, like, website and brochure contain information, but no, like, indications. Like, they give you this. Like, this is the map. Woo! There's no, like, indication of how long the trail is, like, what kind of elevation change you're doing. Nothing like that. Which is fine. But it might have been helpful. Anyway. But it's so cool because you get down at the bottom of this ravine, and it's just two creeks that are converging and then going into the third river. And it's just all from the water wearing everything down. But it's awesome because A, it's made this like giant like ravine in the middle of flat Indiana, which is so cool. But also there's also cool other geological stuff happening. There's like one place that's like a crazy like all the time landslide. Just landslides like this happening all the time. Not all the time, but a lot. Enough that like no vegetation will grow on that. And then there's like shale, I guess it's shale, slate, something that's like breaks off in thin sheets. Everywhere on the bed. I know they don't tell you that in the brochure. I looked. There's another formation that's called Honeycomb Rock. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. No. Honeycomb Rock, which is this cool, it's like this, again, these big cliffs that go up. Indiana. We don't have those. People out west are like, what are you excited about? We have that everywhere. We don't. There's nothing. So there's these big cliffs, and then the side is honeycomb. Like, it looks like honeycomb. Like, it's all like a beehive, not the cereal. What kind of the cereal? It's not that color. It's all knobbly and like worn out these crazy ways. The theory being that it's sandstone, what's remaining, so that it was one time when it was underwater, that those were like algae, places that algae had become fossilized, and that the fossils have worn away at a faster rate than the surrounding sandstone. And so you get this like cool pockety thing. It's very cool. But then, highlight time! Are you ready for the highlight? So the main reason I wanted to go is there's this place called the Devil's Backbone. Right, sounds awesome, right? There's Devil's Backbone. And it's basically what it is. It's in places it's as narrow as 6 feet, although it feels narrower than that. I think maybe there's been some weathering since the last measurement has been taken. Just saying. But it's 6 feet wide, and there's a 100-foot sheer drop-off on either side. And I do mean sheer. Like, it's not but like, nothing's catching you but the other tree that you run into. So sheer drop-off on either side. Even in the thing, it's like if you have small children, do not take them on this trail. Right? That's intense. Okay. So we figure, okay, so this must be the trail that goes this way. But it's not marked. There have been markings everywhere. Like when the path was flat and clear, there was like a marker that said trail with an arrow. Like every 50 to 100 feet, there was a marker. We were like making jokes of it. Suddenly, you're in this place where it's not real clear what the trail is. No markers. Let them figure it out. Totally fine. What we didn't know is we had actually missed the trail to go off that said Devil's Backbone. I'll tell you why later, that I'm secretly very glad we missed that. Because we were actually walking in the riverbed longer than we were really supposed to, I guess, technically. So we went the back way. Thank goodness we did. I'll tell you why in a minute. So we're presented with this very steep climb. It's not a very long climb, but it's very steep. And it looks challenging. Let's just be honest. It looks very, like those 200 billion steps we had to come down. It's like that, but in one climb, natural. So just like with some random railroad ties banged into the ground and lots of tree roots. And there's these big signs along it that are like, do not hike past this point. So we've never been there. So we're secretly like, does that really mean that we're not supposed to be on this? That means like not over there, right? We're not supposed to hike over there, which we secretly think is true, but you're just always a little bit afraid, right? Like, I'm not sure what's going on. Where's those trail markers? Appalachian Trail has blazes. This place needed to put some blazes in, people. Anyway, so we're hiking up this thing, and I'm like, it's challenging. It's challenging to get my behind up there. I'm not going to lie. But I get my behind up there. And then we come to this, we can see the devil's backbone. So now we're up at the top of the ridge, and we can see the backbone. But there's this, like, we're here, and the backbone is down here. And this distance is at least 6 feet. And I'm like, how do we get from here to here? So my husband scouts because he's good at that kind of thing. So he gets down on his butt and is like feeling around. So he's like, oh, there's a rock ledge here you can put your feet on that you can't see, that you can put your feet on. And then that's enough to like kind of get you onto the next one. Because again, the place you're landing is like 6 feet wide. You can't be messing around too. I don't know if it's 8 feet wide. Whatever. It looks 6 feet because I was scared. Can't be messing around too much. So, and we have the little dog, of course. So my husband goes down, and then we help the daughter down, and then we put the dog down, and then mommy gets down. I was fine, but I was just like, nobody take pictures! You know, thank goodness my husband does not have a phone that talks to space. There are times you're thankful for these things. Because there'd be some unflattering photographs out there of me. So we get down onto the ledge. We're like, oh, this is cool. You know, and it's pretty cool. Like there's giant drop off on the other side. There's all these cool carvings like on, I think it's limestone or something. I'm making that up. But there's all these cool carvings on top of the, like as it gets broader, like as you go across it gets broader. There's like carrier pigeons and like all these carvings. They're saying they're dating back to at least like the 1880s. There's a carving of a devil from like 1910, which we didn't see because by the time I was really looking, I was realizing that I didn't know how we're getting off of this thing. So here we go. So we'll go again. So we go across the thing, right? And there's like nobody around. There's a few kids we know that are coming behind us. And by kids, I mean like teenagers. And they have like a supervisor with them. I think they're like a church group or something. So we walk across the backbone. We're like, oh, that's really cool. I'm a little bit nervous because I am. Because sheer drop off on the other side of 100 feet. I'm like, don't fall, kid. Just don't fall, you know. Don't run. She loves to run. No running. So you get across, and there's another place where you're like, here's the backbone. Here's the trail. Again, it's like a 6 foot difference. Maybe it's 5 feet. Whatever. It's more than I can put one leg up and get onto. So again, my husband scouts again. He finds another ledge. He gets down there. The daughter gets down there. And then for some reason, he decides to look to see if he can see the trail. And he doesn't see the trail. And he's like, well, is this just a spur? Are we supposed to go back? I'm like, no, it says it's a loop. But there's a big sign up ahead of you, like where it looks like the trail would be, like directly in front of you when you climb off the rock ledge of death. There's a trail, and it looks like a trail that goes up, but there's a big sign across it, like perpendicular to the trail, like across the trail that says, no hiking beyond this point. So I'm thinking, oh, is this sketchy brochure that's clearly at least 25 years old perhaps inaccurate? Perhaps it is. Now they've closed the trail due to erosion or something. Because immediately I'm like, oh no, if we have to turn around and go back, that place. Now see, I'm still on the backbone. I haven't gotten off the second drop off yet. I don't know how I'm going to get back up that other rock ledge. How am I going to do that? how am I going to get back up the other rock ledge? Because there's at least 4 feet between that place I put my foot and the top of that rock ledge. I can't lift myself up with my arms. I can't. There's no way. Is my husband literally going to stand under me and like push my giant butt? Is that going to be on the internets? So he's like, I think we have to go back. And he comes back up the train. And I'm really like, I'm trying not to like freak out because that doesn't do any good, right? But in my head, I'm like, oh my God. And at this point now, all the teenagers have made their way onto the ledge, and they're all sitting on the ledge with their legs hanging over the side. Oh my gosh. But I'm not only afraid of trying to get up that rock ledge, but I'm like, how are we even going to walk past all these kids? Because if one of them just like accidentally like flips over, he could knock my kid off and kill her. Again, I'm trying not to be crazy, but these are things you think. You know what I mean? Like mind just goes there, right? It's not just me, right? I know you're doing it too. Luckily, their youth leader is like, oh, I'm going to go down and take a picture of you guys up on the ledge. And we're like, what? What? You're going to go down? You're going to go down? So he goes down past us and he goes down and we're like, is there a trail down there? He's like, yeah, I think so. So he's like, I think it like cuts back. It doesn't go straight ahead. It cuts back, but there's no sign and it doesn't look like a trail because it looks like a rock and a tree. You know, it does not look like a trail, okay? Because you're just scrambling over rocks and tree roots. And he's like, no, this is, yeah, it just like cuts way back. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Such a sigh of relief. Such a sigh of relief. So I get down on my butt, go down the next rock ledge with joy in my heart. And of course, there's like a young little girl who's sitting on the ledge that I have just scampered down. I say scampered like I'm a light little pixie fairy sprite girl. I don't know what the equivalent of like gorilla scampering is, because that's what I did. But whatever. But anyway, she's like up on the ledge like, and her little guy friend is like, do you want me to help you? And I'm really like, are you kidding me? Did you just see me come down there? You can do it too, chickie. So anyway, so then we proceed to like, and again, the rest of the trail, I mean, for like a good, okay, it's not that far. But like at least 20 to 30 feet of it, we almost do the whole thing on our butts. Like we sit down, put our feet down the giant rock ledges, get up, walk a little bit, do the same thing. It was awesome. It was very shenanigan-y. I know, I hope the retelling isn't even remotely funny, but it was very funny and it was very awesome. So anyway, if you live in Indiana or are visiting, I highly recommend the Pine Hills Nature Preserve at Shade State Park. It's awesome sauce. That's the other administrative thing I thought of. I wrote it on my brochure. On one of these brochures. Oh, that's right. I was going to tell you that part. That would have been more organic. Okay, we'll wait for organicness. Okay. So let's actually talk about the stuff when it's 23 minutes in. Spinning! I finished my Into the World Squeak Rambouillet, but it's currently drying on my porch rail. So you can't see it because it's all wet. I'll show you next week. And now what I'm spinning, I'm so excited. I am participating in Malia, the barn raising. I say barn raising every time. Yarn raising podcast. What's wrong with my brain? Anyway, but it's my new to you. Excuse me. So I am spinning for the first time 100% CVM Rombledale. CVM / Rombledale, whatever you call it. It's Rombledale that's variegated. Mutant-y style. California variegated mutants. And I'm totally digging it. And I will highly recommend. I got this from winterwindfarm.com, which I believe I got it from an Etsy site. So maybe there's a link to that on there. I highly recommend this, though. It is natural, but it's so fun. I'm spinning it long draw. But there is, like, no vegetable matter in this. Like, no, I haven't found any. And it's super fluffy and springy and very great to spin. And it's just so fun. It smells good. So I love it. We'll see how the yarn turns out. I haven't decided I think I'm going to do a 3-ply though. I have 8 ounces. It is, it's like all crimpy and good. So I do highly recommend, if you're looking for some Rommeldale or CVM, I highly recommend them. They're awesome. They also have colored Angora goats, Angora rabbits. Okay. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So I'm enjoying that very much. What else? I haven't been spinning as much lately. I think I'm like in the must knit all the things mode because winter is coming. Oh, knitting. Finished objects. I finished, as you can see, if you're perceptive and whatnot, I finished my Snowflinger hat. And it is made with Peace Fleece, not Peace Fleece, the other one, Beaver Slide Dry Goods. Popcorn kernel on my iPad. Child. It's the Snowflinger pattern, which was gifted to me by lovely Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. And trying to see who it's written by really quickly and not gracefully at all. Ginny Gordy. It looks like that. It is knit with Brooklyn tweed. Mine is with Beaver Slide Dry Goods. This is the Gilded Earth colorway. And I knit it exactly as suggested. Actually, that's not true. I made it just a tiny bit bigger around. And it does fit beautifully in my head. However, and I still like it like this. However, yeah, you can see that, right? It's just unfortunate the way, like the placement of the little baubles when I wear it with the brim unfolded. It's like a little bit like I have nubbins on my head. It's just a little bit weird. But that's not the pattern's fault. It's just, dude, see, this is like way bigger than what would be pictured in the Brooklyn tweed yarn shelter. So I've just been folding the brim this way. Well, not exactly like that, but somewhat like that. Yes, like that. And it's kind of like accidental Daleks. Do you see it? Do you see how accidentally Dalek-y I am? It's totally true. Is that the episode name? The Accidental Dalek? Maybe. Also, you might have noticed that I'm wearing a giant sweater of doom. I totally am. I'm wearing my chocolate stout, which is by Tin Can Knits. That's not what I want. What has my child done to my machine? No, I don't want that. Who knows what my kid is doing to my machine? Ah, it's doing it again! Stop it! Stop it! I'm so sorry. So what I'm going to do is show you a picture because I actually did a project page. You're so proud of me. I never do project pages if you're new to the show. I'm not proud. I'm not proud that I don't do project pages. It's one of my most horrific personality flaws. I say one of them because there are many, but it's definitely one of them, is that I'm terrible about doing project pages. But I actually did one this time. Yay me. So I will show you the pictures, mostly because I'm not wearing a bra right now. Haha! I really had an attempt to wear it all day, and I even wore overalls, and I was so cute only in my mind because it's not 1996 anymore, and I'm no longer 18. I really should not be trying to pull off overalls, but whatever, I'm doing it anyway. But then, like, we went to the store, and I got home, and I was like, these overalls weigh 1,000,000 pounds. So I had to take them off because those are so hot. They were so heavy. So here's me in my sweater on my project page. Okay, so then my buttons are by, oh, so Beaver Slide Dry. No, it's the wrong thing. It's Peace Fleece Bursted in the Brownie with Nuts colorway. My buttons are by Pima Tuning, who I love ever so much. Aren't those fun? Oh, I meant to bring them over to tell you what they were, and I can't remember. I'll put in the show notes what kind of tree they are. I hope I remember to do that. And then I even have the little ones for the pockets. Isn't that cute? Am I happy with this project? I'm 80% happy. 10% I'm not happy as much with the sleeve. I did not do the pattern as written. So don't, like, this is no reflection on the pattern. The pattern is written with a drop shoulder, which I was like, I don't like drop shoulders so much. So I tried to make it more of a set-in sleeve and then just do the sleeve from top down. Because the stitch pattern is the same way, up, right, up, or down way. Doesn't matter. Like, you would not be able to tell unless you were like, which, don't do that. Don't be a jerk. Um, so I did I did the pickup and go down for the sleeve. And I figured my pickup ratio, which is what my standard pickup ratio would have been, but I figured it out using this pattern, this stitch pattern is slightly stretchy. It's not like rib, but it's slightly stretchy. And I used the completely relaxed gauge versus the stretched gauge. I think I should have used the stretched gauge because I have too much fabric right here. See this? There's too much fabric. So part of me is like, whatever, it's a floofy, loosey-goosey sweater. And really, the problem is not so much the sleeve, it's that the sleeve does not sit up on my shoulder as nicely as it should. I don't know how to fix that. You know what I mean? Like it wants to slide down. I think it's probably just the weight of the sweater. I don't know. But it doesn't want to sit tight enough on the collar. Like maybe I need to put like a ribbon or something. Maybe that would help. Like a ribbon in the neck. That help to hold it on better? Because it wants to slide off. Because part of the reason I think it does it is because it's got a big shawl collar. And so there's not although it's bound off and picked up, it's like a button band. So it's not like excessively loose or anything. Whatever. I don't know how to fix it and make it better. I just don't know. Sometimes I don't know. So that's really the only problem with it. Because it wants to slide off here, then it makes this part too big. If it'll just sit up here, this part is fine. I mean, it's a little bit loose, but that's because it's a big sloofy sweater. But when it slides off, it makes this all waddy. It's like I've got tintage in my sleeve. It's not good. It's not good. And also when it slides off, then this collar flattens out and you just have a tiny bit up here and you have like all this ribbing over here. Now this makes it sound like I hate this sweater, and I totally don't. I've just been knitting on this sweater for like 2 months. So of course, as the knitter, you're hypercritical of everything that's wrong with it. I think what happens is I put it in the timeout. It's totally done. I just put it in the timeout until it's actually cold enough to wear it, and they'll be like, this sweater's awesome! That's what I'm hoping will happen. If it doesn't, then, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think it's what happened. I put some holes in it too, because it's so fun. It's a giant warm sweater. Why not? Yo. I think that's all I have to say about it. Can I take it off now? Because I'm really getting hot. Oh. The shirt is driving me crazy with it. So anyway, so that's how I feel about that. I think part of the problem is I just have not knit a big floofy sweater in forever, like literally forever. Like I've not knit an oversized cardigan in probably 7 years. I'm just not really used to how it fits yet. I think that's part of it. And you know, again, I'm so close to the knitting of it that I'm disappointed with how the sleeve turned out, when I'm sure if I picked that sweater off a rack, I would not be as critical of it. You know what I mean? Okay. But I would like to find a way to make it sit up on my shoulders better. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I'll experiment with pinning a ribbon into it or something. Let's see. But anyway, it's totally cute though, right? It's totally cute. Whatever. Nobody will notice except me. See, you can totally see that collar right there. You can't. But look on my project page and you can see in that picture the ribbing slides almost all the way over to my shoulder. See, that's not right. I don't know what did that. I don't care for that option. But it is sloofy and big and cute and fun. Look at me. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it better. Oh, whatever. I just need to stop. Okay, so there's those. Those are my finished projects. Objects. Something. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about other stuff. It's the longest episode in which I say nothing ever. Sorry. Okay, so, here's a project I haven't worked on forever. Oh, that's not true. That's something I have worked on. Oh, I didn't bring that thing. Oops, I'll show you next time. Okay, so but this also I have equally not worked on. I've worked on my socks. Oh my gosh, I'm so wound up about all the socks I want to make. It's ridiculous. Could you people stop with your sock drawers? Knit more girls, you started it all, you naughty, naughty brownies. And there's all these beautiful sock drawers. I'm like, oh, I want to knit all the socks. But also all of the 9,000 other things I want to knit. Sorry, this is like a hot mess because I have 2 circular needles going because I'm doing the fingers right now with my mittens. I'm making the Franken mittens. This is all to say. And this is Sadie the beautiful Yarnivore of Knitter's Nightmare Yarns. This is her yarn, and this is her self-striping. It's an MCN. Oh, no, do I not? I don't have the tag anymore. It's her MCN base, and this is the Mother Hydra color. You can see it's like a nice clear. Oh, that's good. There we go. That's exactly what it looks like right there. So Franken Fingers, I'm knitting them on size 0s. This pattern, I can't remember if it's free or not. I'm sorry. I feel like it might be, but then I feel like I'm a liar. It's by Elizabeth Green Musselman, Franken Fingers. And she actually wrote it specifically for self-striping sock yarn. Because then you make each of the fingers the different. If you had 5 stripes, you make them each a different color. So I had this one done, except for the ends. Psh. This one I was stopped right before the thumb gusset increases. So I've done that much this week. And I am working on the middle finger right now. So the middle finger and forefinger and thumb to do. And then I will be done after weaving it ends. Yay! So, and of course, I'm enjoying this yarn very much. I love color stripe. So fun. Thank you, Sadie. Okay. Then I had a moment on Sunday when I realized I had no cats on the needles. What? How is that possible? I don't know. So I remedied that really quickly. I told you last week that Steve of Dramatic Knits podcast sent me some of his new yarn. This is from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and they are Leading Men Fiber Arts shop.leadingmenfiberarts.com. This is their DK, which is 100% superwash merino, and it's 250 yards, and this is the Into the Woods colorway. That is showing up slightly more, like slightly lighter colored than it really is, but it's pretty close. But overall, it's a little bit more. It's like less minty. It's showing a minty to me. It's a bit minty. So here I have thus far the beginnings of a hat. What hat is that, you say? I say that I didn't write it down. It's like every other hat I make, except it's garter stitch. I will put the pattern out on the show notes on thefatsquirrel.com. But it is basically just a slouchy DK weight garter stitch hat. And I am starting the brim on US 3s. And I'm knitting fake garter stitching around. I'm just wrapping and turning. And of course I'll have a little bit of a something going on there, but I'm not purling it around. So happy. But anyway, I'm enjoying that very much. And I think it's going to be, I love it in garter. I like this yarn in garter stitch. It's very fun. So yay, more hats. Because clearly I have a problem. Whatever. It's like shoes. It's like socks, right? It's my bag from Joy to Spring. Hi, Joy to Spring. I love you. Of Knit Spin Farm. Okay. Then the next hat I'm making. This I have administrative information for you. I made my. Oh, I should have brought that with me. And I think about it. I made my slippery hat last year with yarn from the beautiful and talented. She's Hobbledehoy's mama, Jenny Potter. Not Jenny. No, that's right. It's Jenny Potter. It's not Jenny the Potter. Marigold Jen. Oh my goodness. I made it out of with her merino superwash worsted weight, and then but I love it. It's my favorite. It's really my favorite hat to wear. It's wonderful for inside. It's not the warmest hat I own, but I love to wear it just inside. It's the best. My favorite and my best. And in fact, I think it literally is the hat that rekindled my hat love. That's powerful, yo. So, but the beautiful Stick Chickie, who wrote that pattern, has generously offered us, since I'm knitting it again, here's her picture of it. It's the slippery. Has generously offered us not only a discount code for that hat, but also her new hat called Penalty Shot, this is the patterning on it. It's a similar shape. But isn't this cute? It's specifically written for like when you have little bits and bobs of, well, not bits and bobs, when you have just a bit of hand spun that you really want to utilize and use up. So you could use the hand spun for that. And have fun. There's a very cute picture of her at a hockey game with her kiddos. Isn't she beautiful? Yay, Stick Chicky. So you can see it there better. So you can use this coupon, and I apologize, I don't know when it expires, so use it right now if you want either of those patterns. And your coupon code for 25% off of those patterns, Penalty Shop or Slippery, is capital T, capital F, capital S, capital S. So the fat squirrel, TFSS, all capital. Hats, lowercase. Capital T, capital F, capital S, capital S. All lowercase hats. HATS. Thanks, Stick Chicky. And also thank you for that pattern, because she gifted it to me originally, and I love it. Okay. So much talking. I didn't really think this was going to be such a long episode. So I am making this, though, as part of the Squirreled Away Cow, which is running through October 28th. Put your product in! I am using my Another Crafty Girl. This is her DK, which does it have a funny name? Simple DK, which is 100% superwash merino, 240 yards in the Gamut colorway, which I got at SSK. So, of course, Squirreled Away worthy. Do you see it? Now, I secretly had planned in every way to squirrel this away for myself and make myself a hat of it. I don't really know how often we wear a super rainbow hat. Am I limiting myself? Perhaps I am. But also I should be able to spread the joy. I should be so greedy. So I'm making this for a friend's daughter whose birthday is coming up. And she really, I don't know, she may be like, that is too rainbowy for me. She's kind of serious. But we'll see. Isn't it fun? I love this pattern, but let me just discuss how much I love this yarn. It is so fun to knit. Usually I'm a super speedy knitter. I'm just like, not that fast, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm all about efficiency. I love efficiency. This, I'm just like, oh, it's pink now. Oh, it's purple. Oh, it's teal. Oh, it's green here. I'm so excited about it. It's so fun. I love it. So there's that. It's in my project bag, which is also from SSK from Tangerine Designs. This SSK in the bag. All excitingness. And then, okay, last thing. And this is what I showed you last week. This is my sweater I'm working on, my new sweater. Not like it's my project, my pattern or anything, but this is my new sweater, which really, can I be like less organized and on top of things for you people? I don't think I could. I don't think I could if I tried. Oh, I don't have it in here because I printed it. Oh, it's in here. Really, on the hot mess side. It's the Miranda sweater by Jose Paquin. That's this one. And I'm knitting that with piece fleece because obviously I have a problem. This is the Potterfield Plum colorway. And it is a top-down raglan sleeve. I totally love it! I've not knitted a top-down sweater in so long. Right? It's been a really long time. I figured out a new way to do the increases that I'm going to do next time, though. Because I don't like the way the increases look on a top-down as much. But I'm going to start doing my increases into the leg of the stitch below. That used to always freak me out when I saw that in directions. And I would be like, no. So I was just like practicing, though, when I did this sweater. And I was like, oh, that looks brilliant. Why don't I do that all the time? Because it's way super invisible. Super duper invisible. Not even lying. So I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to knit my kid's sweater from the top down and see if that works. If I like that. This piece fleece will kind of bloom up, so it shouldn't be as obvious as it is to me now. Not that it's that obvious, but you know what I mean. And it's a nice top down because it's written with some short rows, so the back is actually higher than the front. Yay that. The only thing I did different there's gonna be like 7 things. My gauge is different than the pattern. Mine is much looser. I made the back per Fancy Pants. Amy, your horse logo's gonna get us skate. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I hope I get him this year. Per her, I'm doing my upper chest measurement, which is 46 for the back. So it's actually 23 inches wide the back. And then I was really concerned. Oh, so that's what this was getting into. About doing the top, because I love the bust dart. Love it. I'm not so sure about a pullover because I have not knit a pullover in 8 gajillion years for myself, so I don't even know about that. But I love it for the cardigan. It makes it sit on your shoulder so much better. I couldn't do a bust dart in the chocolate stout. Maybe that's what the problem is. Anyway, it just sits on your body so much better. So much more awesome. Maybe that really is the problem with that sweater. Okay, I gotta stop thinking about that sweater. So I really wanted to be able to do bust dart because, as you can see, the majority of this sweater is stockinette, so it's a perfect opportunity to do them. But I was really concerned about working them from the top down because obviously you don't want to put a dart this way. That would be ridiculous. Like, ah, there are my boobs! You know, that's not what you're going for. At least it's not what I'm going for because they do that on their own. So I was really concerned. So what I ended up doing, and what I thought I would do, but I was a little concerned about, is I would just increase at a faster rate. So I increased about normal until I got to basically the top of the beginning increase of my bust. And then I increased at double the rate. So instead of increasing every other row, I increased every row. Actually, that's not true. I increased every 3 out of 4 rows. It's faster than normal. And it fits great. I was afraid it would pucker weird, like right here. Just not pucker weird at all. It's perfect. I'm so excited. Because oftentimes what I have trouble with in a raglan shaped sleeve is that the decreases to get me to the width of, also the sleeve is, I think, too small in this sweater. So I made it a little bit bigger. Just a little bit. But to get the bust and the arm big enough, I think lots of pattern designers do not, some do, but some do not have you increase at a faster rate. So you're increasing at the same rate a smaller person's is. And so it ends up that it's just way too big this way. This is too long. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be more like this. This line needs to be more this way. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. The angle needs to change. So you increase at a faster rate and that'll happen. And I'm glad I figured that out because it makes a world of difference. You're a big girl. I'm so sorry. So anyway, this is Peace Fleece Worsted. I said that. Potterfield Plum colorway. I'm knitting it on US size 6s. So much better on the 4s. So the chocolate hat was on. And that's mainly it. And so then I'll start doing the bust. I've already started doing the bust decreases right under the bust. An inch below the widest part of my bust. And I was concerned that maybe I started them too soon. And technically I did. You really should wait like 2 inches. But the really dark color, you can't see it. I don't think it's noticeable at all. Unless you do this, which again, don't do that. Don't be a jerk. Anyway. And so then it'll flare out for the like front kangaroo pocket, which I'm so excited about. And what she does is she actually has you decrease and increase. Like this is an increase. But she has you decrease the stockinette portion at the same rate. What I'll probably do is skip a few of the stockinette decreases so that my sweater actually does get slightly bigger for the hip. It's not going to be low on the hip. It's a higher on the hip. But just a little bit to give it a little bit more flair. Oh, I'm very excited about it. I'm just going to do short sleeves. I don't know if I'm going to do the hoodie or not. I'm excited. I have plenty of yarn, no problem. Anyway, but I think I'm going to be super pleased with it. So if you see me at Rhinebeck with my crazy hoodie pocket and overalls. I wish there was the Stephen West of last year in his hot pants that he could take a picture of me with my overalls and that would be the best, biggest train wreck ever. That'd be awesome. Anyway, so that's all. Oh my gosh, at 50 minutes for one person, I need to, I really need somebody else here to rein me in. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely week. Ooh, shameless self-promotion. There's still a few little green bags in the shop with the pumpkins on them. if you're interested. I know some of you don't check back because you just think they're gone. They're totally there still. They're still there. There will be a shop update the first Friday of October, and I'll show you what that will be next week. And then there may also be a shop update the second week of October, because the third week of October I hope to be in New York State. And the second weekend of October, oh wait, that's why I can't do it then. All right, well, there'll be one the first Friday of October. Then it may be like a Tuesday, because we have to go camping too. Oh my gosh, so much to do. It's crazy. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. And I think that's all. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.